So, how's everyone doing today? I apologize in advance for all the noise, for the trucks driving around. I don't know what it is about these airports that I've been to in Florida, but they all just have a ton of random traffic just driving around, like just a tail of vehicles, like a motorcade. I don't know what's happening, but anyway, if you look off in the distance, you can actually see like there's just a whole ton of vehicles just driving around for no reason. I don't get that. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy FlyIslandGuy. We are back today with another video, and today this is another on-air video. The on-air company manager software. We're just trying to go through a level 2 mission right now, which is getting us to just drop off passengers and cargo in, I think it's like 5 different missions right now. So this is the third mission, the third job of 5. Unfortunately, the job that got me here to this airport, which is the Opa Locka executive in Miami, Florida. I was not able to get a recording of this, and I'm still pretty pissed about it, but it is what it is. It's a new day. So today we're heading over to Marsh Harbor in Abaco. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the way, but for now, let's go ahead and let's hop into the cockpit. For the most part, we are all loaded up and ready to go. Our cargo load for today is really small. It's 55 pounds, I think. So it's not really much cargo. So we're traveling fairly light. And outside of that, yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. I'm looking forward to showing you guys the view when we get in the air. As I mentioned, well, I don't know if you guys heard this now, but if it didn't make it into the recording that I was attempting to do on our last trip when we were coming here, I've really been enjoying these flights into the states, particularly right now into Florida, just because the visuals in the states is they're just a lot better than what I've been seeing flying around the islands. A lot more in depth and everything. So I'm looking forward to getting up in the air and seeing things as we fly over and we head out to Abaco. All right. It's a really basic flight plan today. If we just take a quick look at it, we are leaving from Opa Locka. We're heading east to the Palace waypoint, and then we're going to be crossing over the ZFP waypoint, which is above Freeport, Grand Bahama, and then from there we'll be heading over to Abaco. So really simple flight plan. As usual, we'll discuss the approach on the way there, and we can just go ahead and we can get started. Let's get these engines fired up. Let's go beacon strobe, fuel selectors on. Let's bring the alternators on, bring up a mixture control, and let's go ahead and crank the engine. Actually, before we do that, let me actually start tracking the flight. Forgot to do that before. Okay, so tracking started. Now I can go ahead and crank the engine.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Alright, left engine started. Right engine is started. Yeah, I'm not too sure why this plane is so quiet on the inside. It just seems to me to be a lot quieter than most of the other planes that I've flown on. So it's just kind of weird to me, but it is what it is. Okay, we will turn the taxi lights on. Pitot heat, mainly bringing that on just to get rid of the warning. As usual, we don't really need it today. We'll open up the cowl flaps. We'll just use those for takeoff and climb. And I think we're pretty good. We've already set our altimeter. The only thing that I want to set is the heading, but we'll do that just before we take off. Alright. Park and brake off, and let's get out of here. Actually, before I do that, I have a trusty navgraph as usual. We are taking off on 27 right today. So let me just bring across navgraph. Just need to see exactly where we are at the airport. Alright, so just leave where we are, kind of go straight and make a left onto taxi bay 3, and then we can make a right all the way out to 1, and then just left onto 27 right. Seems pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's do that. Just gonna back up a little bit. Gonna slide past this fire truck and let's go this way. Overall, nice calm day here in Miami, and I'm hoping it stays that way all the way to Abaco. But we shall see. I'm not going to be able to pull up a METAR for Abaco, so I'm not too sure what the weather is there right now. But I'll find out along the way as well. Okay, so I did not read that map right. So we are not quite where we need to be, which is over the grass there. I think we kind of overshot the runway, to be honest. Just give me one sec. Gonna double check this map. Oh wow, yeah, I'm way off. Yeah, I missed the exit by missed the turn by a lot. I wonder what's this shimmery thing right here. Okay. All right. So I also realized, listening back on the video that I made for the last run, that I totally forgot to tell you guys how my 2020 was. And once we take off and we get settled, I'll do that. But yeah, I totally forgot to do that last time. Okay, so we're coming up here on 27 right now. This is a taxiway. Yeah, I'm a little bit. This airport's actually. It's got a lot going on for a private airport, so. Just gotta be careful. Alrighty, so. Gonna stop here. 27 right has a heading of 273, so I'm just gonna pop this in. Sorry, 273. So pop the heading code into the autopilot as well. That'll just make things easier for us when we take off. Alright, so we're going to move into position. See nothing coming from the right or the left. At least I hope it's not the left. Okay. Alright, making the turn on to 27 right. And off with the taxi lights, on with the landing lights, and we'll keep those on until 10,000, and away we go. Actually, set the flaps. There we go. Having a hard time keeping the center for some reason. Alright.
Airborne time lock.
Not the smoothest takeoff. Gear up. Looks like we had a pretty stiff crosswind as well. As usual, just gonna set my set the pitch trim, pull the flaps up as well. We'll adjust for that. Alright, let's get our autopilot on. CDI source, set the GPS, and we'll turn on nav mode now. And also, we'll go ahead and turn on flight level change mode as well. I realize I've been calling it flight change mode all this time, which was wrong. Let's try and enjoy the scenery for a little bit. Yeah, it looks... I've been honestly blown away by how well it looks. In fact, like compared to like X-Plane's default scenery, this is like night and day. X-Plane definitely has they have the advantage in terms of like payway aircraft and all that, but in terms of like scenery and realism, man, FS 2020 is It's not even close. Alright, so we're turning now to intercept the flight plan. Heading back over the airport. Let's take a look outside. That's Opa Locka down there. Absolutely stunning, man. Okay, so for the most part, things are looking settled, so this will be the time, I guess, to talk about my 2020. So we all know that this year has been a very odd year, definitely. For many of us, it's been a very trying year for a lot of us, and we all know why. So I don't know. In general, for me, things started off okay. So I was able to go home and see my family. This was probably in January, February, and that was good. And then that's when things started to get weird after that. So I came back in February, and when I got back, there was someone that I had been dating for a couple years. That relationship unfortunately ended in like mid-March, and then from mid-March, right after that was when all the lockdowns and everything started happening because of COVID, and it's just been a strange year since then. So I don't know about anybody else, but for me, one of the hardest parts of this year has been dealing with the isolation. So I live by myself out here in Canada, and because of the lockdown, I pretty much spent almost, what felt like close to 2 months by myself. Didn't see any friends, didn't see any family. I mean, you could still talk to people and that sort of thing, but yeah, it just wasn't the same. And I know for me mentally, it really did a number on me. Sorry, and that was one of the first times that I felt like depressed and like really alone, and that's pretty strange for me. Yeah, that's really strange for me. So yeah, it really took it out of me. So when things opened back up, I kind of got out of that funk a little bit, but still I still wasn't feeling like 100%, like in terms of like mentally. Is that a cruise ship? Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know they had those in the game. Yeah, so as I was saying, like I wasn't feeling 100% mentally, and I just reached the point where I said, you know, I really need to just get out of here. And so, you know, I took the risk and I hopped on the plane and I went back to Bermuda, and I was there for about 2 months. In Bermuda, everything was okay for the most part. When I left, the COVID numbers weren't too bad. So it was good to really kind of get my mind off things. And so just keeping an eye on this climb rate because it's kind of slowly decreasing. I'll give it a little more power. But yeah, things weren't too bad in terms of COVID numbers, and it was really good to be back home, be around familiarity, and luckily I work a job where I'm able to kind of spend a lot of time. I not spend a lot of time, but I work from home. I was working from home before COVID, and I'm able to work from anywhere. So I had the opportunity to go home for a couple months and spend time there with my family, and I just worked while I was there and relaxed, and you know, I was able to kind of go out and do some fishing and really like recharge and spend time with those that I cared about. So that was really good. But once I got back here, by the time I left, this was in October. So sorry, just to back up, I went home around the end of August, and by the time I got back here in October, probably the second last week in October, the numbers had already started climbing, and yeah, things were starting to kind of go off the rails again. So this is kind of the beginning of the second wave pretty much everywhere. Up here in Canada, the numbers started to go up. In the States, the numbers started skyrocketing, and even now, like when I left in Bermuda not too long after that, the numbers there started going up as well. But since I've been back, it's been okay. I mean, I knew that it was probably about a month or so until we got towards Christmas, so kind of worked out well. I was busy for a little while with work, and then things started to slow down. And you know, since Christmas, I've really just been kind of hanging out by myself and just trying to enjoy the solitude a little bit, kind of after being home for a while. Yeah, keep an eye on this climb rate. It's starting to slow down a little bit again. But yeah, so Christmas time was okay. As I said, just hanging out for a bit here. During Christmas, I had the opportunity to spend time with some good friends of mine, and kind of just enjoyed myself. And that was good. Really appreciate them for inviting me over. And then New Year's, I was pretty much just hanging up by myself. But I'm hoping things change this year. I don't know what's going to happen right now. I can imagine we are not going to reach any semblance of normal anywhere until probably, I'm just assuming it's going to be like maybe end of summer into fall. By then, a good amount of people should be vaccinated, and hopefully things will start slowing down as far as the virus is concerned. That's just a guess. I have no idea, but we'll see how things go. But I was really disappointed this year because, especially after my relationship ended, my plan was to really get out there and not like get out in the dating world, but I mean just kind of leave here in Nova Scotia, go out, go on road trips, just get out and about a little bit, and COVID kind of put a big damper in all those plans. And I'm not planning on getting out of here again until things really calm down in Canada. Like, I normally go to Ontario and pass through Quebec on the way. And right now, Quebec and Ontario are being the hardest hit in Canada in terms of COVID numbers. So I'm not trying to be there right now. But that's pretty much it, though. As far as my plans for this year right now, like, I'm really focusing on getting some certifications, as well as just building up my software development skills. And I'm also hoping to I really want this channel to grow as well. I don't know how or when that's going to happen. Right now it looks like we're really, I'm just getting like really like low like people joining. Like, it seems there are probably like 1 or 2 subscribers a month sort of thing. So I'd love to see to get some traction. So right now I'm really focusing on just putting out some just regular content and trying to improve my product, the product or the quality of my videos in terms of audio and content and the visuals as well. I really want to get a new video card so you can get the look of things a little better, but I honestly don't know when that's going to happen. But that's pretty much it. That's really that's how my 2020's been, and like that's going to be my focus for the new year, and we'll see how things go. Looks like we're about to cross 10,000 feet. I'm gonna see how far we can get to 12,000. It looks like I don't think we're gonna be able to make it at this rate. I almost have the throttle pegged, and we are holding 157 knots on climb, but it's I don't know. That's another something that I need to work on right now. We're over 10,000 now, so I guess we can turn off our landing lights. Working out like the optimal like climb speed, climb out speed, and power settings and all that sort of thing. That's something I like to figure out, because right now I think what's happening is that this speed is a little too high to maintain a good climb rate. So it's just kind of, the climb rate is just getting less and less the higher we go. So I'm gonna try something. No. Yeah, if I decrease it, it's if I decrease the power, it decreases the climb rate and flight level change. So this is about the best that we're gonna do, but yeah, I feel like the engines are about to max out right now. Nothing's in the red. It's not like staying there, so that's good. But the engines are still being stressed. I see it like hopping into the red every once in a while. So I want to hurry up and reach 12,000. Probably for future reference, I might just stick with like 10,000 feet in this specific plane and not try to go much higher than that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see where we are in our flight plan. I know we're still heading to the first waypoint. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so when we get to the ZFP NDB, we'll start looking at our approach into MYAM. So actually, might as well just bring that up while we're here. So MYAM is Leonard Thompson International in Abaco, Bahamas. So I'm actually kind of glad that we got this specific airport, or this specific job heading to this specific airport. Now, I don't know if any of you remember, but I believe it was last year when we had Hurricane Dorian, and Hurricane Dorian was a very large, very slow-moving Category 5 hurricane. In fact, this hurricane was so big that it was, or so big and so powerful that it hit Bahamas as a Category 5 and still managed to make its way all the way up the east coast of the United States. And it hit us here in Nova Scotia as a Category 1. When that happened, I just thought to myself, man, like, imagine. It's weird. It's like you wonder if, like, the energy of the destruction that it had in Bahamas, like, if that energy, and I don't talk about like energy of the storm, I'm talking about, like, you know, kind of like the negative energy, all the destruction that it caused, like, if that sort of thing could be like transported up to Canada as well. But I digress. It's just some weirdness that I was thinking about. But so this island of Abaco was absolutely wrecked. It's absolutely wrecked, flattened by Dorian, and also Grand Bahama. I think the northern side of Grand Bahama got hit pretty hard as well. But yeah, Abaco was man, devastated. And I think this particular airport, if I find pictures of it, it was pretty much underwater for the longest while. Let's see if I can find a picture. Yeah. So yeah, this is in Marsh Harbor, and let me see if I can find a picture. So this is a picture of the airport after the hurricane had passed through. You can see that it's pretty much underwater. I don't know exactly what the airport looks like. If I look here, taxi, airport info. Yeah, so I could imagine, so according to this, airport, the actual terminal building will be on the right side. So it's possible that, like, this is the runway here that's underwater, and then it'll be a taxiway somewhere around here, and yeah, that's. Oh, maybe this is the terminal over here. I'm not sure, but regardless, I mean, you could see like this entire airport's just underwater, which is crazy. So, as I've mentioned numerous times before, I have a lot of friends who are from Bahamas. So even though a lot of them live in Nassau, a lot of my friends were affected by what happened here. This is essentially like a whole island had to get evacuated, and those people who didn't get out, some of them survived, but there was also a whole lot of people that died as well. So I'd say keep Abaco in your prayers, because I'm pretty sure even up to now this place isn't it's not back to where it was before, because I could imagine there's so many people there who had to rebuild, or who lost everything. So it's interesting. As I said, like I'm the kind of person who like one of the first things that I mentioned when I did Flight Simulator is that I wanted to really like personalize this experience a little bit. So if I can give any like interesting factoids on places that I'm flying to, then I'll try and do that. So right now, I think this is Grand Bahama in front of us. Let's take a look outside actually. I think we're heading towards Grand Bahama now. I really like how this looks though. Let's try. It always takes you forever to get like the perfect shot. And I always hit that button by mistake. Back up. Let's move a little to the front maybe. Alright, let's just grab a snapshot. Alright. Close the cowl flaps as well. Totally forgot to do that. Alright. Okay, so I was discussing the approach. I was going to discuss the approach as well. Let's see. Does the airport have any approaches? So no stars, so no arrivals, so it's just our 2 RNAV approaches for runway 9 and runway 27. So our flight plan today has us arriving on runway 9. So let's take a look at that. So we'll probably be going through, we could actually do like either or. Honex or Top Me. Let's see what is inside here. Okay. Alright, so it actually has it. Yeah, this Honix transition is fine. So we're going down to 23. Yeah, we'll be heading down to 2300. According to this approach plate. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and just load this approach. I'll wait for it to update there. Looks like we have a good passage of flight though, from between the NDB near Freeport and heading to our first approach fix. It's a good amount of distance, almost 100 nautical miles. So I don't know. I think once we hit like 50 nautical miles, we'll descend into Marsh Harbor. Just gonna adjust the zoom though. Okay. Sometimes I do wish that I had, what do you call it? I forget the name of that hardware that allows you to just, you know, just move your head and look around. I get tired of using the hat switch sometimes. Let's pop outside. Looks like we're flying over Grand Bahama Airport, Freeport. Look down. This way. Yeah, I don't know what these are. It's like some kind of like refinery or something. But yeah, this is pretty cool, man. Like I'm digging the scenery. As I mentioned before, I do find it funny how much larger Grand Bahama is than Nassau, but when you compare the population, it's like night and day. Like 8,000, not 8,000. I don't remember how many people are there, but compared to Nassau, it's a very small number over like a much larger area. But overall, everything's looking good though. Still holding at 12,000, doing about 160 knots. One thing is I'm really missing the King Air, like for the height that it could fly, we can get where we're going faster. So I really want to build up enough funds to maybe purchase a King Air. I might even try out the TBM, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about the TBM. And another thing that I do want to add on is the working title G1000 mod, which apparently like adds a lot of improvements to the Garmin. So that would be a reason to not go to not go to the King Air, because whatever GPS they're using on there, like the whole system's kind of messed up. So we're not really seeing too much in terms of mods for the King Air. I installed the one mod that changes like the flight dynamics a little bit. But outside of that, that's the only thing that I've really seen. The King Air doesn't really get a lot of love like that. Most people love flying the TBM, and then it's got like the G1000 mod and like some other mods in there as well. And I think the Bonanza has a mod that gives it a turbo engine. So apparently, and then I guess there's a bunch of other tweaks to it as well. So there's a lot of people who are flying that as well. It's just funny. As I mentioned before in previous video, I never flew G8 aircraft in X-Plane or FSX, but this is pretty much all I fly here in FS 2020. But as soon as something better becomes available, I will be hopping on that. Alright. So I'm going to calculate our distance. Sorry, our descent. Because we're going to start at 50 nautical miles out. So right now we're at 12,000 and we're going down to 2,300. That's going to be at around 110 knots that we descend at, so maybe a little less. And we're going 50 nautical miles. As I said before, this is my trusty descent calculator. Hit compute, and that gives us 500 feet per minute. So we'll do a nice, steady, shallow descent. It's better than a few of the nosedives that I've done to get down to the runway in some previous flights. But I mean, besides from the issues that I've been having with the sim, I don't know if it's OnAir causing some like wacky behavior, but aside from those issues, man, like it's just been cool to be able to just hop in the sim and fly to places that I just don't know of or don't normally go to. So we're at 50 nautical miles now. Let's go ahead and start our descent. Alright, so we're doing, so that's 600. So this isn't really exact. In fact, yeah, I'd rather we go over than under. I want to keep around 110 knots. So I like to juggle the throttle a little bit. I think next time I calculate the descent, I'll put it down to like 100 instead of 110. Okay. Bye-bye, Grand Bahama. By the way, Track IR, that's the name of the hardware I was talking about. As I said, Clumsy Gaming, is one of my favorite YouTubers to watch for Flight Simulator, and he uses a Track IR, and definitely feel like it has advantages over using a hat switch, but it does seem kind of awkward sometimes, like the way you have to kind of position your eyes and your head, because you still have to constantly be looking at the screen, no matter like where you move your head. So that might take a little getting used to, but in general, for me, using the hat switch it's getting the job done. So I'm not going to stress too much about that. I'm not going to pick up a tracker or anything like that. Alright, so it looks like we're heading towards 40 nautical miles out now. So for me, this is my favorite part of the trip. Takeoff is always a little fun, but landing is always the most exciting and can also be the most nerve-wracking. As I mentioned before, or in my previous video, I was playing around with the working title mod. Working title citation CJ4 mod, and I'll talk more about it when I actually fly it. But as I said before, like, kudos to the team for what they've been doing. They've really been putting in a lot of work into updating the aircraft. It's got some pretty cool features in there. Little song clips for takeoff and takeoff briefings, like passenger briefings, that sort of thing. It's got a pretty in-depth FMS or FMC. Well implemented VNAV. It's been cool to fly. Like, ooh, I'm gonna get dinged for this. Forgot to turn on my landing lights. Oh no, oof. I don't know. It didn't say anything in the. It didn't say anything in OnAir, but we'll see if I get penalized for it still. But yeah, so it's got, as I said, it's got a well implemented VNAV in there. I flew from. Well, I did a test flight, and for the actual video, when I do record something for that, I'll do the same flight from Bermuda to Halifax. It was roughly 2.5 hours. But to use VNav for that coming into land was in my test flight was pretty bad conditions, very cloudy, very foggy, very rainy, like, and they performed beautifully, and it was awesome. I was able to do like an ILS approach and come in for a landing, and yeah, I'm really liking that aircraft. I have had some issues with it on takeoff. I don't really know what is causing that, so I may have to reinstall it. But for now, I mean, it'll be alright. Okay. Alright. 30 nautical miles out now from Abaco. I hope the anticipation is building in everyone as much as it's building in me. I don't know, man. I really enjoy this. Fun fact, I used to want to be a pilot when I was younger. I was telling someone the other day that, I mean, this is basically the closest that I'm going to get to it. So, I'm really enjoying this, and having such a beautiful looking sim makes it like that much better, you know. It really helps with it, with immersion. Trying to keep my eye on the airspeed. It's actually a little more than I want it to be. I'd also be interested to try maybe the Cessna Grand Caravan as well. Basically because, like, although these twin engine planes are cool, like, I feel like I'm missing so much view from the engine blocking out everything. Just about to approach 23 nautical miles. This has been a beautiful day for flying, man. Like, I hope I'm not jinxing it, but yeah, like, it's been no bad weather at all. Clouds haven't been too thick, so this is really good. One thing that I have to be careful of in this plane, if for whatever reason you move this plane into the grass, or if you drive it into the grass on the ground, like you cannot try to do any like sharp turns or turns at any kind of speed, otherwise it'll register as a crash. I don't know if this is specific to just this plane or all planes, but definitely got a few crashes that way. That's since I've been in OnAir. Close down to the cloud layer now, and I'm hoping we can just break through quickly. Teens now. Just outside of 10 nautical miles now. So that descent was moving. It's been faster than I thought it would be. Really hoping that they work on these like water textures. So flying around in the Caribbean looks way better than they make it look here in FS 2020. In fact, if you go back and look at the pilot, not the pilot, the like the demo video or the promo video for FS 2020, and you see some of the water views and the islands, it looks way different than what we're seeing right now. So I'm not sure what went wrong there, but I want to see the water look like that, that's for sure. So we're coming up on Abaco now. Pretty much, yeah, this whole like island here in front of us is Abaco. 5 miles out. And I'm just gonna look at the taxi situation real quick. Airports. Right, yeah, we did look at this before, didn't we? So we'll land runway 9. Either go to the end or turn off at B. Taxiway B. Either one will get us there. But what's most important is land and turn left. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, so we should be starting our left turn soon. That left turn will take us from Hunex to Rudpee, or Rudpee, I don't know how to pronounce that. And then after that, we'll turn right onto final. I'm just gonna look up the METAR for Nassau, or actually, I'll look it up for Freeport since it's closer. And I'll set our altimeter to match that. It should be close to whatever it's supposed to be here. So I think Freeport's code is MYGF, I believe. Alright, MYGF is 300. Okay. Close enough. Man, that's a bunch of little islands here. That looks crazy. Not realize this is what it looked like. Just gonna open up the cowl flaps again, since we're gonna be landing shortly. And I'm gonna drop out this first notch of flap. Just kind of get it slowed down a little bit. Although we're not moving that fast. Alright. I have no idea where the airport is right now. Just know it's off to our right somewhere. It's crazy how this is just like a bunch of scattered islands all over the place. Did not realize this is how this place looked. Alright. So when we make that right turn onto final, we need to descend to 1600. So I'm just gonna put this in for now. We'll just get our vertical speed ready. I could imagine this is probably the airport here, but once again, it's kind of hard to tell. But it'll make sense that that's where it is. Alright, 2 nautical miles out from Roodpee. Should be making the right turn any second. And once we complete the right turn, we'll go gear down and flaps full. And we'll also arm the approach. Interesting. I'm telling you, man, there's not too much of us YouTubers who are flying around the Caribbean like this, checking out these places. Just not seeing that. Okay, so we're gonna arm the approach. Let's go down to 1600. So vertical speed. Okay. And approach is armed. Yeah, that was definitely the airport that we were looking at. And go ahead, flaps and gear down, which is really going to slow us down. So we should be capturing the glide path sometime soon. And you'll notice when you see like the nose just dip down. You should see the little indicator moving towards the center. So we should be good to go here. But if not, as usual, we'll just hand fly it in, which isn't an issue. Alright, see the nose dipping down now. It's because the glide path is active now. You can see the GS annunciator is green, which means it's active. And when we get close enough, we'll just disable the autopilot, fly it in. Kind of enjoy like hand flying these approaches in the smaller aircraft, just because they're just easier to control. One day I'll make it to the A320, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm going to grab another screenshot. It's crazy, there's like don't see any houses, anything on this side of the airport.
330 at 11 knots.
All the houses on the other side near the shore. I wonder if that explains why the hurricane was so devastating. A lot of the houses on the shoreline. I don't know how accurate this is, but take over. There's no pappy, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Smooth.
Landing time logged.
There we go. Oh, heading off the runway. Why is it so sensitive? Alright. Okay, so we landed. I need to check my joystick or something. Shouldn't be like sliding all over the runway like that. Okay. Turn the landing lights off. Alright. Here we are in Abaco, folks. I'm going to shut the lights off. Park and brake on. And cut the engines.
Engine off, time logged. Flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Alright, so we got in safely. So that is good to hear. Probably parked the wrong way, but it's not a huge issue. So mission accomplished, which is good. I need to figure out what is going on with my joystick. That don't know why it's like sliding all over the place like that. But be able to kind of safely get here to the apron. Hope you guys enjoyed this flight, and really hope that you guys will come back and join me. Our next flight, we will do the last two legs of this mission. The actual next hop is like, it's like right next to this airport. So yeah, we'll do that on the next video. Thank you very, very much. As I said, send your prayers out for the people of Abaco who were really affected by Hurricane Dorian. And as far as I'm concerned, like, comment, subscribe, and catch you next time. This is FlyIslandGuy, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.